If your fashion wish list lives rent-free in your brain, you need to be on Poshmark. With Poshmark, you're shopping millions of listings from thousands of closets, each curated by someone with their own style. Vintage finds, designer pieces, and everyday staples all in one place. Search for your favorites or let the discovery come to you. Poshmark makes it easy to find what you actually want to wear at prices that feel like a quiet win. Download the Poshmark app today and use code PODCAST10 when you sign up to get $10 off your first purchase.
Most people overpay for car insurance, not because they're careless, but because switching feels like too much hassle. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry compares rates side by side from over 50 top insurers and helps you switch with ease. Jerry even tracks market rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Switch with confidence. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/Libsyn today. That's JERRY.ai/LIBSYN.
Emotionally unavailable.
Hello, and welcome to Emotionally Unavailable. I'm your host, Malisa Hepner. Thank you for being here. If this is your first time, welcome. This will not be very long or probably very prophetic. It is late Sunday night when I'm recording this. I kind of forgot to do this. I've been school clothes shopping with Charlie, my 12-year-old, and also looking at new mattresses. And I also had some stuff delivered, and we have a space in our living room behind or to the side of where we sit in the living area that has always kind of been empty and driven me crazy. And the dining room table that we have in the actual dining room does not really fit the space, and we just don't really have the room there for us to eat there. So we have not eaten as a family in so long. I got tired of it, and I don't have a way to entertain. So I put a dining room table in this space next to in the living room. It's hard to explain. Maybe I'll drop a picture in the Patreon. But anyway, been sprucing up the place, that Cancer, fourth house stuff. Wow. Speaking of astrology, so I spoke about this on the solo, I think Friday. No, Lainey was Friday. Last Wednesday. I don't remember. Anyway, yes, because Leanna listened to that episode and said, hey, you want to do a live with me? And I said, yeah. So I'm going to talk about the live and kind of some themes with the astrology, but we are having an eclipse in Leo, which for me is my 5th house. So it's a money house. So I'm like, hey, money, come on. But it's also short-term relationships, not just like dating and situationships, but also like maybe short-term business partners, but it's really faded. And so I've been paying attention to who is coming into my life right now. Leanna is a great example. I'm so excited for this new friendship. Yeah, I think you guys we're going to record together soon. I think you're really going to like her. But I've been, thinking so much about identity. Make sure you check out the episode on Unquiet Soul tomorrow, Tuesday, because that's the episode that really sparked me thinking again about identity and the different ways to look at identity and stepping into the identity of the person who's receiving the things that you want to receive. But here's the thing. Leo's the big spotlight right now, which really is, where are you still hiding? Where are you still being inauthentic? And I will tell you, eclipses have a way of fucking some stuff up if you are not on the right track. I truly believe I am in alignment with my soul's true purpose, authenticity. I don't believe I'm in relationships that don't serve me. So I don't anticipate much more beyond a season of receiving. And I have been in a receiving season for a hot minute. So I'm just expecting more of that and more opportunities to be on a stage, truly. Learning already before even the eclipse to not depend on the applause. Like, I think it's okay and human for all of us to want to feel liked and seen and appreciated and even popular, whatever the words that you want to use are, but not needing that and detaching from the need for that has been a work of mine recently anyway. So more of that. I'll be doing more of that. But I did have to, in the conversation with Angie, I thought to myself, wow, and I know I said this, but I have points to elaborate on here, so just bear with me. But I thought, okay, I've been working really hard for a while to get more clients to have a steady, stable income. And I'm starting to see where I've definitely sabotaged those efforts because it truly was never what I wanted to do. I mean, if you had asked me about my dream life when I quit that job, it wasn't work 35 to 40 hours a week in one-on-one therapy. It was never that. It was always find a way to monetize my podcast in a way that I don't have to do that, as well as be on more stages. And if I found a way for the income to be there without even taking a big monetary payment for the stages, I would even do that probably for free because I really have a passion for speaking. So, but I don't believe that that's my path. I really believe that I am meant to be on a stage paid. So, I really believe when I heard if something in you is desiring it super strong or craving it, it's because a version of you has already received it. So I'm staying true to the path here. Unless my true heart's desire changes, I am continuing on this path to try to be on more stages, paid eventually. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm on a path to monetize my podcast. At this point, just for transparency, my podcast at least pays for itself. There was a time I was bleeding money trying to figure out softwares and whatever. I do still pay a little bit, but the little bit that I earn on Patreon, a little bit of commission on Podmatch, things like that, the podcast pays for itself. So that's good. I guess in my heart, I've always thought that I would receive like brand partnerships or sponsorships, something like I'm detaching from how, but I've always wanted like essentially my main source of income to come from both these podcasts. I don't know. I do make some on ads too. So that was part of that revenue. But yeah, so between all of that, the podcast pays for itself. I'm not making anything on it, but I just don't want to be embarrassed to say what my aspirations are, because if that's your aspiration too, shit, get on it. That's fine. Who cares? So yeah, I'm really still very passionate about that. But I started thinking, even Angie says in the episode, maybe that's why you may make no money. And I think that's probably true. I can definitely state several ways that I've sabotaged efforts to get more clients. It one-on-one work is overwhelming. It can be draining depending on the type of session it is. Most of those clients don't end up staying. So truly the work that I do is very energizing and lights me up, or I wouldn't have stuck with it. But there are times when I look at my schedule and I'm not happy to see my schedule. So I feel like I'm best served doing more collaborative efforts, like, for lack of a better, conferences. I was going to say festivals, but like conferences, retreats, things I'm doing with other people and like as group work, but also like with another facilitator, and that being a really affordable way for people to get my information outside of the podcast. Obviously, writing books. I've been starting to feel a desire to write again, and then save one-on-one work for some really sacred time. And that's why I don't advertise very much about doing one-on-one work, because it has not presented itself to me the way, I don't want to do therapy. I want it to be where, because the ethics that you have to follow for therapy are just, you can't have an outside relationship. You can't, and I'm just tired of the constraints of all of that. I would rather develop my own authentic relationship with people and work with people who they just want help, and I can give that to them. So there's that. But when I considered stepping into that identity and the work that it would take to get there, I also have to say, what is my capacity right now? And when I was evaluating that, I don't feel any more energy than I have for the last almost 8 months now since losing Jake. So I have to be realistic about where I am. So that's why I started looking at this identity stuff a little bit different. I'm going to look at some notes really quick. So I had to ask myself, who am I becoming, and how does that version of me relate to the reality I'm actually living? If anyone here caught the live with me and Leanna, this is the stuff that we kind of talked about. But identity versus behavior, who I am isn't determined by what I accomplished today. And if I were to even change that, I would say belief versus behavior. Remember when I started saying like, I am, so I receive. That's the energy I want to stay in, is I already am. I obviously, as a human, want to continue to grow and evolve. I want to hit the milestones I said I wanted to come here to learn. I want to reach enlightenment, all of the things. But I'm already worthy. I'm already valuable. I'm already love. I'm already joy. I'm already peace. So that's the belief that I have to call in all of the things that I want. And I really believe one by one, these things are going to come true. And that's why on the Lionsgate portal, it's supposed to be a big portal for manifesting. So this year I got very specific on the things that I wanted just on a little note. I just typed it out. I don't think things have to be fancy. I think they can be. You can do rituals, you can do practices, but I just was like, this is all they have the energy for right now. Capacity versus commitment. Reduced capacity doesn't mean that I've abandoned the life that I'm creating. In fact, I think losing Jake has really created the space to be very clear on what I want and what I'm capable of producing or providing right now. And there's no room for faking it. There's no room for not taking care of myself. There's no room for any of that. Embodiment versus performance. Am I actually becoming? Hey guys, it's me. Emotionally Unavailable is produced 100% in-house by me with no team. So if this show has ever helped you and you want to give back, subscribe to the Patreon. There's several different levels with different benefits in each. Check the show notes and you can see what each tier subscription will get you. There's also lots of fun things coming down the pipeline for the Patreon subscribers. So get in early. You can get a workbook, you can buy merch, you can do any of the things, and all of that supports the show to help it keep going. Really appreciate every single one of you. I love you so much, and I can't wait to see what we continue to do together. Her or performing what I think she would look like. Embodiment sounds more like if I already believed I was this person, how would I relate to myself today? And again, I'll go back to belief versus behavior. Embodying this new person is about acting that way because you believe, not fake it till you make it. It is, I already am that person. I'm not becoming them. I am that person. I'm just figuring out that person's capacity, that person's routines. Yeah, I just think it's okay to not know all of that, but to believe I already am that person because I know I'm worth it. I know I'm worthy of that. Expansion versus self-abandonment. Growth shouldn't require overriding my nervous system. There's the biggest one. I am not in a position to override my nervous system right now anyway. And in one way, that is the gift that grief has brought me. I know that that's going to sound weird. I'm not glad it happened. I'm not saying that, but I am saying I was able to, because of my tools and all of the things, look and see like this is one thing that is a good thing that came out of a very bad thing, is the clarity that I've received. And I can't fake anything, and including my energy levels. Like, I cannot tell you how many times last week I was like, holy shit, I am so tired, and had to sleep. I took 3-hour naps in the afternoon. It was wild. Evidence versus perfection. Look for small evidence that the new identity is already operating instead of demanding perfect consistency. And I think that was a really important one for me because I was so worried that those times when I'm just having a really hard time about Jake, that now I'm out of the energy of receiving. The person in all identities from here until the end of my time here on this earth will be a person who lost her middle child, period. No matter what identity, no matter what I'm doing for work, no matter what I'm doing, I will always be a person who lost their child. So it is okay if from now until the end of time that my capacity never returns to what it was, or my tolerance level never returns to what it was. This may be permanent. My capacity and tolerance may be permanent, and that's okay. But that allows for me to be human and to have those moments that are really hard, that aren't full of remembering how much love I am and joy I am, But I think what really smacked me in the face is the idea that you can't become someone new while protecting the old identity. And I can certainly see the identity shifts that have been made, over the last 2 years in general, but also in the last almost 8 months, being a person who literally does not do things outside of their capacity. That's an identity and it's a shift. And again, this may be permanent. So if you, like me, maybe even you're not going through some major life altering situation, but maybe the idea of all of these changes that need to be made to step into this identity that you want is overwhelming. And maybe your nervous system's responding to it. Here are ways that I have been soothing myself into those shifts. What does she believe? What does she tolerate? What doesn't she chase anymore? What relationships fit her? How does she make decisions? How does she respond when she's afraid? And how does she treat herself when she can't perform? And I think that last one's a huge one because I think that ties into lots of worthiness issues. So that one's been a big one for me. And just shifting the energy of what you're doing, I think is a really big shift. And it doesn't have to be these major life changes that you make in order to step into this identity. It can be gradual and it should start with shifting how you respond to things and shifting your relationships, how you're showing up in relationships. First and foremost, particularly with this all happening in Leo, you should be clocking how you are, like how authentic you are in your relationships. If you are not showing up as you, there's your first step in first identity shift that you can make. Show up as yourself. No more masks. No more hiding. No more people pleasing. No making yourself smaller to meet someone else's needs. Like, those are really big shifts that you can make. The most important shifts, way more important than waking up at 5 a.m. to work out. Promise. Way more important than sticking to your macros. Way more important. Promise. And then there's this idea that maybe stepping into a new timeline isn't about pretending you're already living a different life. Maybe it's about becoming the version of you that can hold the life you're actually living and still move toward the one you desire. I can't tell you how much I'm having these nervous system responses every time something good happens. Like, I feel the fear and I have to sit with it and hold it and let my entire being know I'm safe to receive the things that I'm receiving. Remember, I am, so I receive, and I just believe in that so hardcore. And then also, just as an aside, today, so I've been really tired. I just said that, but school shopping is rough for the preteen who's very opinionated and also has very different tastes than you. And sometimes I'm like, really? But I want to be sweet and supportive. So anyway, it's taxing. And we needed to look at one more mattress store today and go to the mall today. So I was pretty tired and I really didn't want to go. And then I was like, you know what, Melissa? How grateful are you to have the funds to be able to buy the school clothes? Because last summer, I remember really stressing. I was having to do a lot of Uber Eats deliveries to be able to afford any school clothes. And it was very stressful. So I'm very excited. Yeah, much better situation this year than last year. And I got into that grateful energy before we went shopping today. And it really just changed my day. And I'm really happy. I'm really excited for the things that we've been doing to upgrade the house and just to clean it. One of these days, you're going to get to see a very clean, aesthetically pleasing bedroom, but today is not that day. So anyway, that's where I'm at. So I love you guys. I appreciate you so much for being here. Can't wait for Leanna to come on. You guys are going to love her. Excited for that new friendship. And hey, if you haven't already, please like, share, comment, rate, review on whatever platform that you're on, because that helps push me to a wider audience and it helps me grow in the rankings. I'm currently sitting as a top 5% podcast. I am pushing for top 3. Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys. Sorry for the short episode, but hope that landed somewhere important. And I truly love each and every one of you. I love feedback. So if you want to talk about the episode or just talk about what's happening in your life, I'm here for that. I love it. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you. I hope you have a marvelous Monday. Let's see. What day is the eclipse? The 12th. So Wednesday's episode. Yeah. Okay. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for coming to Emotionally Unavailable. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share.
Emotionally unavailable.
All right, that's it from me. So make sure that you check out the show notes for links. And until next time, let's all just keep swimming.
INDEPE and cut.